Guys, we have another woman fatigue video. Yes, woman fatigue. Women's esports just got set back another 100,000 years by Hero Hey. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, we're just gonna go in. Also, please consider liking, subscribing. I appreciate it. Every little bit of support counts and matters. Thank you so much. And yeah, we're going in. We're gonna see what this is about. Is this about Mean Girls again? The classic ones? Maybe a little bit of misandry, even, right? Sprinkled in there, because that's what I'm seeing. I just have woman fatigue. It's at least in gaming, I just have. This is a bunch of chicks running into these spaces and being like, I don't like it here. Let's change it, right? Not like any reasonable person who would like see this and be like, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna stay away from it. They're like, yes, I'm gonna join it, and I want it to change because, well, I can't live in a space that doesn't cater specifically to my needs and desires because I am special and I am wonderful and whimsical.
There's a number of, let's just say, recurring themes with people that like to virtue signal on the internet. In this video, we'll be talking about a specific recurring theme, though, that being hypocrisy.
Oh, I was about to say white women, but hypocrisy works really well.
And so we have a new situation that has occurred in the gaming space, but before we talk about that, you remember back a month ago or so with the Deadpool Creator Cup Kingsman situation, where CCFPS began deleting a bunch of tweets talking about how much she hates men? This was interesting for a few reasons. One, she was getting a lot of justified criticism for her poor job as team leader and her role in getting Kingsman kicked from the tournament. And then afterwards, her and other women on the team attempted to play victim, namely Zaza Stack, attempted to play victim and accuse people of criticizing them of being like sexist and misogynistic. Obviously, that's ridiculous. Criticizing what they did to Kingsman, criticizing how they handled that whole situation.
Yeah. It's always, every single time, they always fall back to the default buzzword, which is, it's misogyny, it's sexist. You criticize, not because it actually is, but because the criticism is coming from a man. If the criticism was coming from a woman, it'd not be, oh, wrong. If it were to come from a woman, correction, if it were to come from a woman, it'd be internalized misogyny, so that doesn't count either, right? We cannot forget that. Funny, huh?
Was once again obviously not sexist or misogynistic at all. That's just a really desperate attempt at deflection and taking no accountability. And so then, as mentioned, we even saw CCFPS deleting tweets where she had previously talked about her great hate for men. She really hates men. Now, it doesn't seem like she suddenly changed her opinion on this. It seems like it was an attempt at scrubbing those tweets off the internet because it made her look bad. You could easily argue that those tweets make her look even more malicious in the way she handled all that Kingsman stuff. This was especially funny because at that point in time, she claimed to be taking time off from the internet, but here she
literally biting the hand that feeds you, because I can guarantee you a vast majority of her viewers are men. Yet she's still doing that. It's just odd and weird, and just like, it's just very odd to do that. I feel like a lot of these people don't, first of all, don't respect their own community, and they just really do it so they can farm these people for money and, easy simp bucks. But that's just me.
was still on the internet and trying to scrub her Twitter account. Anyways, this current situation made me reflect on that because there's some similarities, and that whole situation with the Deadpool Creator Cup tournament was crazy and still fairly recent. But moving on from that onto the current topic. So in today's news, we have this tweet from a League of Legends streamer named Charlene getting 1 million views on Twitter.com, becoming a, as mentioned, point of contention here, as she's previously talked about how much she hates men and how she thinks that the male loneliness epidemic is well deserved.
I hate men. I like money. Am I wrong for saying what I said earlier? Am I wrong for saying that these women just join these spaces for money? Am I wrong for saying that these women are farming these men for money? Am I wrong for saying it? Honestly, these people should be absolutely ashamed for mistreating their own communities like that. That's just me again. And of course, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, it's not that bad. Come on. I'm like, dude, Dude, right? You're giving her money, but she hates you. Why are you giving her money if she hates you? Funny.
Deserved. But now she wants to virtue signal online about how men should become the internet police on her behalf or something, apparently. So let's take a look at this tweet. And the context begins with League of Legends leaks and news, saying Team Voice Chat is officially coming to League of Legends. To which Charlene responds and says this. Okay, on a serious note, men, please read. It's your responsibility to step up if you see a woman getting victim of misogyny in game. Please don't be passive when you will see us getting attacked for no reasons. We don't want to have to punish ourselves out of the voice chat. So Charlene wants to talk about...
Again, what is a dude going to do against another dude? Nothing. Spoiler alert, nothing. Nothing. And also, like, we're getting shit too, we as men. No man is crying out there if he gets, like, called, like, a son of a something or other crazy stuff, slurs, whatever. Nobody gives a shit. This is always just women posting this. Because see, words just have as much power as you want to give them. If you ignore it, you mute them, or you just ignore them entirely, they won't have any power. Just report them and move on with your day.
How much she hates men and loves money, and that the male loneliness epidemic that she calls pandemic, by the way, kind of funny, that's well deserved. But now she wants to say that the same men that she's openly hating on,
yeah, loneliness is contagious,
that they have a duty. She says it's your responsibility to become the internet police on her behalf, essentially, to become her personal police force for her. However, as people began to criticize her and point out her hypocrisy, she did add this, saying, I said I hate men in 2022, 4 years ago, and now I can't be asking for people to stand up against misogyny. People change, thankfully, and I just wish everyone could enjoy the game to the fullest. If it offended you, I am sincerely sorry. It wasn't the purpose. And I know I should be thankful for all the nice guys that are supporting me out here. However, people would...
Well, they're beating your ass. 73 replies. 11 replies on the other one. They are beating your ass, and rightfully so.
Point out that she really hasn't changed at all. For example, the tweet where she's talking about the male loneliness epidemic being well-deserved, that was a few weeks ago on January 20th, 2026. So she didn't outright say that she hates men in that tweet, but she's acting like she's completely...
Yeah, but she's acting like she completely has changed, but from, like, recency, we cannot confirm that that is the case. If anything, it might seem to be the opposite, or possibly even worse.
Changed over the years, and clearly that's not the case. Charlene would then take a note right out of the no accountability playbook. This person, Sweet Legendary, says to her, guys, please, I'm just a girl, give me money and defend me, showing where she once again said that she hates men and loves money. Then Charlene says, 2022 tweet, thankfully I changed. So other person says, doesn't look like it, and posts a quote tweet where Charlene says, I wonder why, responding to someone else who had seemingly linked to the tweet where she talks about how much she hates men. And I say seemingly because guess what? She's since deleted that tweet.
She scrubbed the tweet because it made her look funny and bad. Either that smells either like you won't want or don't want people to know what you actually think. It's damage control. Or, which would be more reasonable, you know that makes you look bad. Or you, in fact, agree with it still, but you can't keep it up because they're going to beat your ass for it, and they are beating your ass for it. It's very interesting to see how that is now gone. Somebody has something to hide. I wonder if there's more tweets and people just haven't found them, but she has found them first. Who knows?
Sound familiar? And Charlene says, get a grip, I swear. I'm getting literal death threats, death treats, but all good since I offended you in 2022.
Proof? Citation needed. Proof. See, when you say you received death threats, then I need proof. I need proof. Post the screenshot from your DMs. Post tweets that say this. Come on, do it.
The other person says the quote tweet is from 2026, which heavily implies you didn't change at all. So where are you getting the 2022 number from? So once again, I'm going to reference the Deadpool Creator Cup situation because now we're seeing like two exact things that occurred there. The deleting of I hate men tweets that CCFPS did, and now the attempting to play victim in the exact same way that Ashlyn FPS had done. The similarities are crazy with how these people act. Because you might remember this tweet, excuse me, if you followed that situation, where Ashlyn FPS.
That's because they are part of the same hive mind. That is the reality. They are part of the same hive mind, which is why they act the exact same way. Same hive mind, same way. It's actually that quite simple. It's not really that complicated.
PS said, CC is bad, Kingsman is good, would you kind souls please stop sending me death threats? Got community noted that says Poster actually sided with CC and told her to use the situation as quote unquote free ad revenue. And so the full but quick context of this is everyone was essentially siding with Kingsman when they saw how CCFPS, Zazastak, Luciasa treated him and got bassed him to kick him from the tournament.
See, it's also the chime that like the times have changed, right? We're calling out misandry more. And I think that's a good thing. I think there has been a shift, and I think it's a good shift. Yes, we should call this out more. I agree. Absolutely, 100%. We have to. Because these people are essentially using people that they hate for money. And I don't think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. What am I yapping about? I think that's very, very wrong to do that. I feel like it's like it has something disingenuous, grifting, if you will. I think the term grifting, I think, suits you quite well, right? It's catering to an audience that you don't even like for money.
And so everyone was siding with Kingsman, and Ashlyn came out with this statement that was trying to act like everyone was in the wrong, including Kingsman, which was very manipulative. Again, that wasn't the case. Kingsman was not in the wrong. Those women on his team that did that stuff to him were clearly in the wrong, not him. And so Ashlyn was trying to misrepresent the situation and act like everyone's in the wrong, guys, just move on. Very disingenuous. And then behind the scenes, it came out that in a private Discord server, presumably the Rivals Creator Discord, Ashlyn was very clearly siding with CC, trying to give CC advice and taking a stand against Kingsman. And then when people pointed out that Ashlyn was lying, essentially, suddenly that gets posted. Oh, I'm just getting death threats. Would you guys stop? Kingsman good, CC bad. You know, very sarcastic and trying to play victim, trying to deflect from all of the criticism and people pointing out.
Cry bullies. Again, literal cry bullies is such a great term. They are cry bullies. That's all there is to it. E-girl cry bullies.
Out again, the lies, right? Suddenly very convenient. Oh, I'm going to ignore all that and just mention that I'm getting death threats. And like I said before when I covered this, it's something most people will receive, unfortunately. Like, we all get death threats. I've had dozens over the years. Dozens. I haven't had death threats particularly. I had a Finnish guy come into my chat and be like, I hate your country and I'm gonna kill your mom. That is what I had. And I also had like doxing threats, I think twice. That's about it. So I'd have to look through my own chat to find these again. Because, like, of course, I don't care much about that. But that's about it. I haven't received a proper death threat yet. It's about time. Oh, I have had like a joke, like your mom and dad when they hear like a shotgun sound in the basement, that kind of stuff. That's about it. Is that already considered a death threat? Not really. threats where people threaten to R-word me and death threat me in one. That's like a 2-for-1 deal right there. What, am I a super victim now? Am I like a plus ultra victim because I've had that too? Like, no, like whatever, you know? Whatever. Conversely, there's been situations where people get caught lying about that stuff. I've literally seen people getting caught sending themselves death threats on a burner account. Other times people just make this stuff up. I'm getting these threats, and they really didn't. Because again, they want to deflect. Now, whether they're making them up or spoofing them or are actually getting them, again, none of this is an excuse to use such things.
It's also like, okay, but why are you giving words so much power? Stop giving words so much power. They're words, nothing much. Block, delete, Move on. They're gone. They're no longer in your inbox. Moving on. It's not that deep.
Things to deflect from valid criticism. And if someone does act like that, it's just a bad look for them. It looks like they're deflecting. So yeah, that stuff is unfortunate. Again, I'm obviously not saying those threats are good. I said it's an unfortunate part of the internet, but it is what it is. You all get my point.
It's a harsh reality, but you got to deal with it and you got to live with it. That's all there is to it. It's a harsh reality, but it is what it is. If you don't give it any power, it won't matter.
Moving on. On the other tweet where Charlene acted like she changed so much since 2022, which clearly wasn't the case, she also got this response that sarcastically says, "I hate men and that's why I asked them to change." Charlene then making this response we haven't taken a look at yet, where she says, "I don't want to hate them, but it makes me sad to see how normal is misogyny." 950 plus comments on.
That's not the... Wow. Definitely misogyny, calling you out because you're misandrist. So calling a woman out for essentially saying something stupid is misogyny. That's interesting. So criticizing women, regardless of what it is misogyny. Crazy. That's interesting. Also, the other one, I hate men. That's why I asked them to change. So you hate them, which is why I asked them. So you asked them to change because you hate them. So you send them hate, so you believe that will change them. Ah, yes. I'm definitely going to beat up somebody. That's definitely going, so they hopefully eventually start liking me. That's essentially what it is. That's essentially what it is. I'm going to hate somebody so they change. Huh, weird. That's definitely going to bring change. What is this? This has 29 likes, by the way. You gotta be... There's 29 people. 28. If this person liked their own tweet. That agree with this. We're cooked.
My tweet, it's terrifying. And most of the people who are responding are simply pointing out her hypocrisy. That's not all misogyny. Like, it's ridiculous how these people want to call criticism misogyny over and over again. This happens. Like, people are quite literally just showing what Charlene said. They're like, "Hey, is this you?" And her response.
This might... that might be a result, and that's just me, but that might be a result of these people never hearing no. That's just what I believe. It might be the reason might be these people never hear no. And because they never hear no, they act like this. They act like criticism is a personal attack because they never get to hear no.
Response is, "Oh, you're a misogynist." Like, are you kidding me? You really don't have a better response. It's just, "Oh, throw a buzzword out there and hope for the best." Yeah, okay, good luck. She wasn't done there, though. She went on to say, "We really need to be able to rely on you. Being passive and not stepping up is being part of the problem. I don't want to cry on stream every day." The comments. "Cancel voice chat already. Please, League of Legends."
57 replies again. You're getting cooked.
"I asked you guys to stand up against misogyny. I did not insult your mom, by the way." And she said all of this. Why I said men need to stand up for women? Basically, if we leave the voice chat, it will not fix the problem and encourage men to continue being misogynistic. It then makes the environment even more hostile for them. When women speak up about what they experience, they don't easily get listened to. They are part of an oppressed group. Other men tend to listen to
the oppressed group, half of the planet. Yes, the oppressed group. Especially American women. Especially women, e-girls online that play video games. Very oppressed. That make full-time content. Very oppressed. Super oppressed. Super duper oppressed. Giga oppressed. You get to play video games and people call you mean words online. What oppression. Wow.
Other men because they are part of the same social group. She actually thinks men just like listen to other men unquestionably or something. Like, this.
Hey, you there. You're gay. Yes, you are gay. You are going to listen to me. Yes, you who's watching the video. You are gay. From now on. See how stupid that sounds? Yeah, because men immediately listen to others. Of course. Fun fact. Fathers raise their sons and tell them to not steal. and some of them will still steal. Yeah, spoiler alert. People don't listen if you tell them something's wrong, right? We tell people who grape to not grape. They still do it anyways. Shocking, I know.
This is insanely out of touch stuff. Oh my gosh. If men speak up against misogyny, it on escalate misogyny. The misogynistic guy, after getting told to stop by men, maybe in different lobbies, might stop. It might not feel this bad, but not stepping up in it might make it escalated to way worse behavior, assault and worse. Misogyny hurts men too. It tends to invalidate your experiences and how you feel. Yeah, okay, nice gas.
Nice gaslighting, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate it. No, it doesn't. How is misogyny affecting me? Well, it might the consequences of it might affect me, but overall, like, if somebody calls a woman something just because she's a woman, that has no effect on me. Kinda. That doesn't really. No, it doesn't. Also, it doesn't invalidate my experience of how I feel. Because spoiler alert, women really don't care all that much about male victims, if that's what she's trying to allude to. Fun fact. In fact, if we look statistically and go down the rabbit hole, it appears that women now are a lot less accepting of male victims than the women of the past. That should tell you something.
Sliding there at the end. She wants to now act like she cares about men after she's talked so much about how much she hates men and doesn't care about men being lonely and all this stuff, right? But now she suddenly cares about men. Yeah, definitely not just gaslighting there. Another comment would say, quote, misogyny hurts men too, unquote. Bro, what? If that's so, the misandry on social media is invalidating your experiences as well. She says, I don't know what you aren't understanding. I would recommend you to search about how misogyny hurts men too. Yeah, and you know what you'll find if you search that up? Some very biased write-up from a feminist or feminist organization that's trying to justify their very skewed worldview, blaming all of their problems on the patriarchy with no room for self-improvement, while simultaneously saying that misandry isn't a real thing. And by the way, it's funny how those same feminists have minimal or no criticism for actual countries that oppress women, such as we see occurring frequently in the Middle East.
Middle East, some Asian countries as well. India is still a big one. Pakistan, Middle Easterns here in Europe, Middle Eastern people in the United States, those never receive criticism. Always just white dudes. I wonder why.
But yeah, let's just ignore the real oppression and complain about people being mean in voice chats in a video game. But we're really serious about this serious issue, by the way. Seriously. That is the latest, though. Let me know what you think about this situation. Thank you for tuning.
Yeah, I said enough. It's incredibly simple. It's incredibly simple. These women absolutely deserve what they get, simply because they bite the hand that feeds them. You are in a male-dominated space, and you shit on men. You deserve everything that's coming for you because of that. Because you're biting the hand that feeds you. It's that simple. Stop it. Stop hating men. And that problem will solve itself. Right? That problem would solve itself. Or you could just stop being a mean girl altogether. Or you could still hate men. Just don't say it. It's that simple. Just don't say it. Otherwise, you will experience the consequences of your own actions. Oh no. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Take care, guys. Bye bye.